and the not so perfect moments. At Citi, we're ready for all the holidays break. And for a limited time during our season of savings, enjoy up to 20% off plus 60-month special financing. Save furniture, designed for love. Enjoy up to 20% off plus 60 months.
One, two, three, four. Orthopede steals moments from our lives. At Orthopede, we design and engineer footwear to give those moments back. With technology backed by science and trusted by podiatrists, our ortho cushion system is trusted by millions. Ortho, trusted for relief, designed for life.
Let's get it. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. So we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion here, folks. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Top five Tuesday, top five ways to process feelings. Again, this week we're talking all about what feelings are, what they aren't, finding the right mix between facts and feelings, right? So top 5 ways is a system that you have to put in place and sort of in a way system that you have to have in place so you don't make decisions just based on feelings and have absolutely no facts behind it, all right? So number one, first thing you got to understand is you got to understand what's at the root of your feelings, all right? What's at the root of causing you the joy, causing you the pain, causing you the happiness, causing you the sadness, causing you the anger, causing you all of these emotions that come up. You got to understand what the root of it is. And again, I'll go over all of these in detail when it comes to the live stream, but you got to understand what the root is. And then the next thing you can't make an emotional decision. You cannot make emotional decisions. You got to understand what the root is. So 1 and 2 work the same way. You got to know what the root is, and then you can't make emotional decisions just based on the way you're feeling in the moment, because that can ultimately lead you down a path that you're unable to get out of. And again, I can resonate with that. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that on the live stream. All right. So number 1 and 2. Number 3, you have to understand feelings are human nature, right? It's human nature to feel a certain way about this, about that. It's just part of the process. So again, like me, myself, I'm a person that makes a lot of people feel a lot of different ways. There's a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of things that I have made a lot of people feel over the years in terms of just my personality, in terms of the way I talk, in terms of the things I do and what I'm willing to do for myself. There's a feeling that I'm going to always make people feel. So again, I have learned, it has benefited me because I've learned what human nature is all about. I've learned that it's human nature for a person to react to this when I say this, or react this way when this happens. All those kinds of feelings come up, and it's helped me in so many different ways. So that's number 3. Number 4, you gotta always be ready to move the fuck on. All right, understand what we talked about yesterday was feelings are they're very, very temporary, all right? Feelings are temporary. So whenever you're feeling a certain way about a certain person and about how this happened and how that happened, you got to understand that that is going to be a temporary state of mind. And if you're not willing, if you're not able, if you don't put yourself in a position, no matter what the fuck you're feeling, whatever the emotion is, if you don't put yourself in a situation where you can move on, then you're going to lose. Period, point blank, end of sentence. You can't move on from whatever. And this could be relationally, this could be professionally, this could be whatever you want it to be, friendship. I don't give a shit what it is. If you don't know how to move on from whatever the situation you're in is, then you will not lose. You're just going to put yourself right back into the same situation that you were in before because you weren't ready to move on. Number 4 is very important, all right? You got to be ready to move on no matter what. And again, I'll get into some stories about that as I jump into the live stream later. And finally, number 5, you got to let the pain sit, man. Let that pain sit. Look, when you get a cut, and you could either just put a Band-Aid on it and just allow the bleeding to happen, or you could take the rubbing alcohol. And put it in there and make it burn and sting and feel that pain, feel the pain of that rubbing alcohol, really heal that wound. If you don't let it sit, let that pain sit from whatever the feeling is, then it's always going to be human nature for you to avoid the pain and avoid the situations that you need to be listening to avoid the circumstance, avoid the people that you need to be listening to that's here to help you, that's here to push you in a way that you haven't been pushed. If you don't let the pain sit. All right, that's the issue. That's actually the issue I'm dealing with right now as we speak. Is there's a person out there who's avoiding pain. So then instead of actually speaking to me directly about certain things, okay, I'm gonna avoid it and think that the pain is just gonna go away, which in fact it does not. It actually just amplifies the pain. It puts an exclamation point in the pain, and you're not able to get over certain situations. Again, I'll explain all of that today on the live stream. Again, just to recap, Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 ways to process feelings. Number 1, understanding the root of it. Number 2, do not make emotional decisions. Number 3, understanding that it's human nature. Number 4, you got to be able to move on, whatever the situation is. Number 5, make sure you let that pain sit for as long as it needs to sit for you to be able to properly move on and heal it. All right. So all that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. It's one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking back in. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day you are consuming this evergreen material. Let me just reintroduce myself to anybody that is new around here. Again, my name, I'm going to say it slowly for anybody that's new. It's Aswan Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 6-time published author and educator. I created this whole brand, this whole business, this whole movement, this whole concept, this whole way of life. That's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and applying them to businesses and business owners so they have a staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently as a championship high school or youth football team. If you would like more information on how to get an employee development workshop or dive deeper into the employee development concepts, all that is available right there on the screen. It is makeyourmove.com. That is MakeYamove.com. You can go to the shop now. You can look up all the things I do, from speaking to innovative teamwork. Everything there, again, like I still tell you every morning, it's a one-stop shop for all the teamwork and your self-development needs, whatever it is you need from a teamwork standpoint. We're here to serve you, especially as business owners, when you're sick and tired of the turnover. You don't like the amount of turnover. You're constantly, you have so much damn turnover that it's starting to eat at your profits to the point where you're taking your profits, you're taking the things that you need to be, that you're earning from a sales perspective, and you find yourself taking that budget just to keep motherfucking people, just keep people around. All right, we don't want that. We want to make sure we have a system in which folks are constantly developing. They're getting better in some way, shape, form, or fashion every single day, and you'll start to see how that improves in their personal life. All right, so today, very, very important day in the Move Swiftly world, because it is Top 5 Tuesday for over about 2 years now. Every single, and this started, I remember when it started. I'll give you guys the kind of the backstory of how the whole Top 5 Tuesday thing got started here. It was back when Caitlin Clark was doing her thing at Iowa. And we remember that they just finished her rookie or sophomore season in the WNBA. So this gives you some time frame in terms of when I started this, right? But Caitlin Clark was doing her thing at Iowa, and I was immersed in the whole Caitlin Clark just craze when she was in her senior year at Iowa, that March Madness. So it got me thinking of all the college hometown heroes. So I just put a list out there of my top five college hometown heroes, which was it was Caitlin Clark, obviously was on that list, but then it was Sean Merriman, linebacker for Maryland. Then it was Tim Tebow, obviously you know that name, Reggie Bush, and then Skylar Diggins. Those were the top 5. And ever since then, every single Tuesday has been a top 5 of some sort. It usually depends on the theme. All right. So what we're going to be discussing today, what we've been discussing all week, is how to process feelings. We made it very, very clear yesterday that feelings are very temporary. All right. They're very, very temporary. And if you understand it, and if you figure out how to use your discernment, and you figure out how to, separate feelings from facts, from accountability, and making sure, hey, I'm looking at what the feeling was. I actually took this action, and I'm aligning the two, and I'm making the best decision based on the facts and based on the feelings. Again, the feelings and facts, they work interchangeably. If I'm making the best decision based on those things, then I can expect the things that I want. I can expect the results that I'm hoping to get. All right. That's what we're going to dive in today, is a process towards thinking like this. And it doesn't come easily because it has to be taught. You have to live through these things. Again, I'm not talking to you as a person. I'm not talking I'm not talking at you. I'm not talking at you as a person that doesn't go through things, that doesn't have feelings, isn't human, doesn't deal with a bunch of passive aggressive bullshit that I deal with every single day. I deal with a lot of bullshit that I don't, come on here and speak about publicly, because I know how to separate. Hey, that's a feeling that don't nobody give a shit about, but the facts and how to use these feelings, how to leverage these feelings, how to make these feelings, turn these feelings into something that's going to produce a positive result. Okay, that's the stuff people want to hear, but they don't want to hear about how you feel about this one, and if this one like you, and if this girl like you, and there's fuck that. They want to hear how you were able to overcome these things, how you overcome these feelings, and still achieve the results you want to achieve. That's what people want to hear. And that's, again, when you're in the content creation game, when you're in the game like I'm in the game, day in and day out, daily move swiftly thoughts, you got to just give the people what they want, man. You got to give the people what they want. You got to get in the habit of giving the people what they want, but also make sure you're processing things on your end too. So there's a process towards it, and that's what we're going to be breaking down today. So here it is. Top 5 Tuesday, how to process feelings. Again, make sure you guys, if you're not, so you're following me on medium.com. That's medium.com at Move Swiftly. Book number 6 will be a huge discount. We're going to have some great promos coming out for any Medium followers. There's going to be brand new. There's actually new SEO posts and stuff like that. All sorts of, I got an email. So I'll tell you guys right now, I got an email from medium.com yesterday explaining how, they're going to be changing up the structure in terms of how they pay their published, pay their partners and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going down in my world when it comes to the literary world and the way I go about putting my intellectual property out there. There's so many possibilities, so many things that happen when you actually have intellectual property out there. Hear me when I say this, all right? I want to make this point. Intellectual property is the name of the game, all right? That means you got your mind making money for you. Say it again. Say it to them louder as one. Say it for the people in the back. Intellectual property. All right. You see the picture. I'm telling you why I chose this picture, because it was actually, I have the same shirt on. You see that? Education. Educators. Us as educators. When you have intellectual property, it is absolutely it is more valuable than anything you can possibly have, because it's going to be it's going to be making you, it's going to be your mind, right? Your mind, the thing that nobody can take away your mind. No one can take away your opinions. No one can take away your logic and the way you think. It's going to be these things that come out of your mind making money from you, all right? Making money for you, all right? I have a whole series of things coming out on the injuries that we're seeing on the football field. And understand, look, you could be the greatest athlete in the world. That ankle goes the wrong way, as you saw yesterday, right? The elbow goes the wrong way, the finger goes the wrong way, and no longer able to make money based on your physical ability. But making money on this, making money right here, depending on your mind to make your money, oh, no one's taking that. No one. It's just a matter of you finding the right people to work with, all right? That's what it's all about. So that's because I can get on tangents. Let me get, you see, this is why I'm making sure I put the Medium articles out there to read from when I'm on these live streams, because the goal is to keep these in 20 minutes, but I end up talking and it ends up turning into something, turned into a rant and things like that. So I will get to the point where I got a 3-hour daily show that I could do, like all the, like, to the YouTubers I follow, the people I follow that I'm always taking lessons in from, they got a 3-hour block where they just in here talking. And I'm like, okay, I got to get my shit. I got to step my shit up. All right, I got to step my shit up so I can get my 3-hour block and really get into it the way I want to get into it. But I don't got that kind of time. I don't got that kind of time at the moment. But we're working on it. All right. So anyway, here we go. Here we are. Another Top 5 Tuesday on the Move Swiftly platform, a space where consistency gets redefined every day, where we are picking up where we left off yesterday. Feelings, a word that could bring you incredible joy or immense pain, depending on how your day is going when you read this, right? So depending on whatever's going on in your life right now, you hear the word feelings, it could bring you joy, it could bring you pain. Whatever's happening right now, whatever time of day you're listening to this or reading the article, whatever it is, it could run you through a lot of different emotions, all right? So it's only right that we break down the top 5 ways to process your feelings, because here's the truth. In the real world, nobody gives a damn. Results move the needle. Everything else is just noise. Everything else is just fucking noise. All your feelings and all your bullshit, that's your business. Handle it on your time. Handle it on your time. It's the results that actually get shit done. All right, here we go. So number 1, understand the root of it. Let me put it right here on the screen. Understand what's at the core of whatever the feeling is you have right now. You're feeling inspired? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling jealous? Are you feeling upset? Whatever the root is, you got to understand that's the root of the feeling. Right now, there's a feeling for me where there's somewhat some comfort, but also a level of, hey, anxiety, because I know I'm being recorded and I know I got to present myself. I got to still be myself no matter what. And I've been doing this so long that I don't really let the anxiety stop me from, or let the nervousness stop me from public speaking at this point. But at the same time, there's a level of professionalism, there's a level of awareness that I have as I know I'm speaking on camera and I'm on the live, I'm on the microphone live. You know, that's something I wanted. I wanted that challenge every single day. I wanted to figure out how I could challenge myself every single day to get that feeling of having to be a public speaker every single day. I can't go around asking to be speaking at gigs. I can't go around asking for business owners to pay for workshops if they don't see me putting in the work every day. I can't go around asking X girl to be with me if they don't see the work I'm putting in every day. You can't just be fucking talking, folks. You cannot just be talking. All right. So here it is. What exactly is causing the joy, sadness, and anger? All right. So here we go. Some relationship talk. We're talking relationship. All right. When my longest relationship, all right, a 4 years, guys, 4-year run, a 4-year run with my high school sweetheart ended. The thing that crushed me the most out of that the most, it was not the breakup. It wasn't the breakup itself. It was realizing that two people who were never meant for each other kept the lie alive for 4 years. We're talking about two people who had very, very little, nothing in common other than the fact that they were both horny high school kids, could keep that lie going for 4 years. Okay. That pain, when I started realizing that, when I felt the pain of that, okay, the pain came from being wrong for too long. So now in my late 30s, I make sure that doesn't happen again. Ask any woman who's ever gotten to know me, any single one of them. Yeah, and there's quite a few of them, again, that have gotten to know me. I work with women, whether it's fitness, whether it's education, whether it's in the athletic world. There's a lot of sister. I grew up with an older sister, my mother. You can ask any single woman that's ever gotten to know me. Yes, Aswan is very fun, driven, focused, and has a productive plan he works hard to achieve. This is what they will say verbatim. As they're describing Aswan. He's fun, driven, focused, and has a productive plan, and he works hard to achieve his plan and focus on his plan. That's what they would say. But here's the but. You see this but right here? The but is right here for a reason, right? But he's not for everyone. Tell you straight up. And if they're listening right now, then they know exactly what I'm saying. Okay. He is not. He, as in Aswan, is not for everybody. Aswan is not for everybody. Aswan is not for everybody, especially for someone without emotional stamina. This word right here is what I've learned. Without the emotional stamina, you won't last. It won't work with Aswan and you. I'm just putting it out there right now. Okay. It will not work if you don't have the emotional stamina that it takes to continuously stay motivated over a period of years, over for a lifetime. You have to already be driven going into the relationship with Aswan before you just automatically are able to turn it on. Because with me, my mentality is I've always been this. I stay in survival. I stay in the mode where we're gonna work to whatever the situation is. We're gonna work our ass off to get out of it. That's what's been embedded in me. Okay, and that's okay. What I can't accept is wasting time with someone who doesn't know what they want. Okay, that for me is a no-no. That's the biggest red flags, when you keep giving me bullshit about how you want this, and this one wants this, and then the next day it's this. You don't know what the hell you want. You need to figure the shit out. All right. That is what I mean when I say, number one, you got to understand the root of the feelings, things that bother me, things that anger me, things that frustrates me. I understand the root of it, and I'm here to tell you as a business owner, you got to understand the root of it. Okay, we're probably going to go for 30 minutes here because this one I knew I might have got a little long-winded on, but anyway, we'll keep it rolling. Again, number two. So number one, understand the root of the feelings. Again, we're breaking down the top five ways to process your feelings. Number two, don't react in the moment. All right, the moment is a bad thing. You got to be careful. With reacting in the moment. Here's a recent example. I'll give you an example from last week. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I do teach sport and fitness at a charter school, a K through 5 school named the Foundation School, the Center for Creative Education. I'm the sport and fitness coach there. All right. So here's a recent example. All right. So during one of my sport and fitness classes, I created an activity where the students had to climb a massive playground dome. All right. So one third grade girl froze up halfway. At first, I didn't know. Okay. So this is important because this is something I didn't know. I didn't know she was terrified of heights. I just saw her holding up her team. So I almost lost it. I was a few seconds away from calling her lazy, weak, and selfish, but I caught myself. I really did. So basically, we had two lines. It was two teams, and the team where everybody was, jogging, and then the two people had to go and run to the dome, climb up the dome, come back down. The first ones that are back down that did it the right way, did it all the way through, that was the team that won. So she got up there and she just wouldn't climb. She was taking forever to climb. She was like stuck on the ground level. And I'm ready to call her, look, you're selfish. You're not caring about your teammates. I'm about to go off. I'm about to lose my shit on her, right? So instead, I stayed calm and she ended up climbing the dome twice. That moment turned into a story for our school newsletter, one that's dropping today, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one that she'll probably remember for the rest of her life. Having control took what could have broken a little girl down and turned it into a breakthrough she'll never forget. So just so I'm giving you guys some context here, instead of me going off on her, I calmed down and I realized and listened to the other students, and they told me, look, I'm not going to put her name out there, obviously, but she's like, look, they're like, look, she never climbs that dome. Like, recess, nothing. She's scared of the dome, but she actually did it today. So they all voted for her to get the coach's award. And, she went to the principal and she was excited. It was a great, great moment, not only for me, not necessarily just for me, but for the entire school, for her life, what she went home and told her parents, what she can do from this point forward. That's what it's all about. All right. And that's the power of not reacting in the moment. Okay, folks. That you can't react in the moment because you will make a decision. You can cause some damaging effects. All right. Moving on here. Number three. Let me get it up on the screen. Number 3, feelings are human nature. So I alluded to this on today's Move Swiftly Thought. So hear me clearly. This one helped a lot. This one helped me a lot. Yes, I've caused people to feel all kinds of way about me. And you know what? I own that. All right, I can own it. I own it. You're gonna get feelings when you see an individual willing to put in any type of work. This is not just me talking. All right, this is anybody who is committed every day to building their business, to doing the work. You're gonna create feelings for the folks who don't do it or who don't have the consistency or they didn't put themselves in a position to be able to go after the things the way you're able to go after it. That's just the fact of life. So feelings are human nature. Once we clear that, it's human nature. It's just going to naturally happen. All right. Because it teaches me, I own that because it teaches me about human nature. So about a month ago, things with my girlfriend started to fall apart. So hear me on this story because this is important because it's about me picking up on the human nature. It's about me picking up on the human nature that I started to see in her, the change in her mentality, the change in the way she was moving, right? So it started to fall apart. It was the Sunday night before I was supposed to drop her off at the airport. I'd even taken them. So what I did, I have, tons of hours of PTO, but I took the Monday off just to drop her off to the airport. So that Sunday I was watching football with her dad, and that was last damn Sunday that the Commanders won a fucking game. But anyway, we won't bring up the Commanders right now. I gotta get through this. So I had even taken the Monday off. When I asked her for details, so this is the Sunday night. This is the Sunday night before I drove her to the airport, right? I asked her for the details. I'm like, so basically I'm like, yeah, you still need a ride, what are the details, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 just getting the information, right? So when I asked her for the details, she looked at me like, oh, sure, if you're available to still take me to the airport, sure, yeah, definitely. This is the bullshit she said to me. Okay, I take PTO, because we've already planned it for a whole week, and I say, okay, what are the details for the flight and stuff like that to take you to the airport. Well, yeah, if it's still available, sure, you can, yeah, of course. All right. That was the fucking answer I got, right? And forgive my language when it comes to that, but that was the answer I got. So anyway, that sparked one of many fights. I mean, constant fights from that point, that Sunday night. So, but I realized something that night is she wasn't being forgetful. She was projecting something deeper that was bothering her. That's what I mean by human nature. Once you learn to read the feelings, and I'm not here to throw any shade on her on this. This isn't the platform for that, because there's still a lot that needs to be kind of dialed down and talked about between myself and her. So I'm not here to throw any shade on her. But the point I'm making, get the spirit of the point I'm making for you as a business owner, is that you got to learn to read feelings and read reactions. All right. So I realized something that night. She was not being forgetful. She knew exactly what I was asking. She was projecting something deeper that was bothering her. And what was bothering her was something I was going through and living through, and the time frame in which I gave her and stuff like that. And she was well within her rights to feel that way. The problem is there's not a problem, but the issue is, and the thing that has to happen is you have to recognize that feeling, call it out so you're not blindsided by it, and people can go and move on with their dignity intact, with whatever they have intact, whatever things that they need to be doing to live a productive lifestyle. You need to have those things intact as you move on. That's what I mean by human nature. Once you learn to really, this is profound shit I'm giving you. Take some notes, guys. Again, you get to adopt some of this stuff in the business world, you are going to be good. All right. That's what I mean by human nature. Once you learn to read feelings, you stop reacting and start understanding. Okay, I started to understand her on a completely different level. It went from girlfriend level to another level of understanding when I realized, okay, this is the way you react when there's something bothering you. You're not going to say it directly. I got to pull fucking answers. This is the same bullshit that I had to deal with when I was with the girl in high school. I have to pull answers out of you because I had to read the feelings and I had to pick up on these things. Now, again, I have the skill and the ability to do it because I'm an individual that works with all types of personalities all day. She doesn't have the luxury of dealing with all the personalities that I deal with on a daily basis. It just as so happens two people are living through two different things. And that's just the way life works sometimes. All right. That's just the way it has to work. Can't run from it, can't hide from it. You just gotta own it. Oh, just got a text here. Hold up. I got a text there. Sorry, let me finish up. All right, so, and that leads me to number 4. Be ready to move on. All right, be ready to move on, no matter what. Again, I want to make sure this is important shit for you to hear. You've got to be ready to move on. Romantically, professionally, physically, whatever you are needing to move on from, or whatever you want, whatever is giving you or causing you whatever joy you have right now, whatever pain, whatever feeling, whatever emotion that you're being caused, that's causing you, whatever's causing you to feel a certain type of way. We'll say it like that. You got to be ready, locked, loaded, here with it, again, in that ready, set position to move the fuck on. All right, you got to be ready to move the fuck on, because if you're not ready to move the fuck on, even let's say it is a personal relationship, if you're not ready to move on, then the person you're with, or you guys are not growing, and you're going to stay stagnant. You're going to stay stagnant in a place. And if you get stuck in that place for too long, then you're never able to get anything out of your life. Again, I've watched, listen to me. I watched, and then I'll give you a personal story, because this one always cuts deep. It cuts so deep whenever I think about it, whenever I look at it. But I've watched a man lose his wife. I watched a man lose his wife to breast cancer. All right. I was standing next to him at the funeral as they put his wife in the ground because she had breast cancer. The look on that man's face as the casket was going in the ground to lose his wife to breast cancer, that is an image that is planted right here in my skull. Planted, folks. The man didn't do anything wrong, right? I mean, it's life, right? And when I say you got to be ready to move on, because that's the way life works. You could do everything right. You could do everything the way you were supposed to do it, and follow God's, all that. But if you're not putting yourself in a position to move on from whatever situation you're in, then you are staying stagnant and you're never going to get the results. You will not understand success without fulfillment. You won't be fulfilled. All right. You'll never get the fulfilling feeling that you want and that you deserve. You have to be ready no matter what, no matter how good the person makes you feel, no matter how happy you seem, no matter anything. You got to be ready to move on. Hear me from my heart on that one. All right. You got to be. You got to be. No matter what happens, you got to be ready to move on. Have yourself in a ready, set position to move on. All right. And this one goes back to great book for you guys. If you haven't read it, is one of my favorite books is Mindset by Carol Dweck. All right. She explains the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. If my girlfriend and I never talk, if me and my girlfriend, I guess I could still call her that or ex, I can't remember how, you know how it goes, but we never talk again. I've still learned so much from that relationship. Do you understand how much I've grown, how much I've learned from that relationship, that the 2026 version of As One Crookshank will be like a machine, because that would have made not one, but two single mothers that I had a situationship with in 2025. One who was, 1,000% with me in terms of running, in terms of 5Ks, half marathons, fit in shape, doing it. And the other one who, again, wasn't that, but just had a better personality than the other one. The 2026 version of As One Crookshank is going to be like something this world has never seen, bro. Again, high school was the last time I really actually cared about a girl. Now, after experiencing love with a woman who has 2 kids, I'm on another level. Growth mindset, always forward. Another level, like a different type of cat, bro. Different. All right. That's the way it should be, though. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be ready to move on no matter the situation. I'm giving you the gems. I'm giving you the tools. I'm giving you what you need to have if you want to keep growing and you want to keep grinding, keep developing. All right. Now, final thing, number 5. This one's a big one because this is what a lot of people don't do. I'm going to hurt somebody. We're going to keep it real up in here. I'm going to hurt somebody. You got to allow the pain. You got to allow the pain to sit. You got to sit with that shit. Sit with it. Let it burn you. Let the pain burn. All right. Let it burn. Great. It was a great Coach Bolton. Coach Bolton was the JV coach when I coached high school football back at Blake in Maryland, and they lost their first game. And he was screaming at the kids, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Let the pain sit. Let it sit. All right. This is the hardest one because number 4 sounds easy, but it's not. If you don't allow the pain to sit, you won't be ready to move on. All right. You won't be. You won't put yourself in a situation where you're able to move on if you don't allow the pain to sit. Okay. It's not easy to move on. When I really let the pain of that high school breakup sit, I made a decision. I would become a lifelong learner. Moved to Florida, started a new chapter, no family, no friends, just faith and work. And that pain became fuel. But most people, they avoid the pain by running to the next relationship or the distraction. But the pain is a teacher. You sit with it long enough, you'll listen. You run back to your mommy, your daddy, and all the things that you know as comfortable for you, and you never allow the pain to feel. You never allow yourself to feel any fucking pain, and then you keep wondering why you keep running into relationship after relationship after relationship after going on date after date after date. That's not working because you don't allow yourself to sit with the pain. That's the issue. All right. So final word: feelings are real, but they're not reliable. All right. They teach, but they shouldn't lead. Learn from them and keep your eyes on the purpose. Action step again. All of this is applicable to the business that you're running, the work you're in. All right, the business and the folks coming in and out of your organization every day. So employee development, all of this entails that. So again, main website to check out to dive deeper into all that and have me come in and do a workshop for your organization. It's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyaMove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As One Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.